I mean, how long the podcast
We're
gonna be?
recording. I don't know.
Wait, tell me when we start recording.
I already started.
Oh, okay. What episode is this?
31. 31.
This is the New Leaf Podcast.
That wasn't really good.
Huh? What were you trying to do?
The beginning of the podcast, the intro.
Wow.
You don't like that?
No.
You're such a hater, man. Oh wait, did the podcast start?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well, let's do it then, shall we?
Let's get it now.
All right, well, welcome back to another lovely episode of the New Leaf Podcast. And I guess after this long, it's not really a new leaf anymore, is it? It's kind of older, huh?
Yeah, it's old leaf.
Old Leaf
Now
Podcast,
it's
huh?
fall. The leaves are turning brown.
And they're dying.
Dying, yeah.
Man, that's depressing. That's how you had to start the podcast, really? So this week we're going to talk about a game that I really wanted to play, but unfortunately Ubisoft totally screwed me over, so I didn't get to play it.
You probably didn't follow the instructions, right?
Yes, I did, dude. I told you exactly what I did.
Well, I don't know what to tell you about that.
Exactly, so shut your mouth. But, so Rainbow Six Siege, the beta came out this week, and me and Christian were supposed to play it. But like I just said, they never sent me my beta access keys, which I'm pretty frustrated about. And I got the email confirming that I was in it and everything, and they would send me the instructions on how to redeem my code, but they never, like the beta code, but they never did. So Christian got to play it, and I just watched a lot of I have a big YouTube following that I watch. Like I watch a lot of people on YouTube, so, and a lot of them are friends, and they all kind of posted the same kind of video, all of them playing a game together. So I got to see different angles of different game styles from those people, so I can try and talk about it as much as possible. So,
Well, did you watch any videos of the player versus player? Because
that's what I watched a lot.
Okay, the only game that I played was the Terrorist Hunt, because I only played it for about an hour and a half, 2 hours yesterday. So, and this is Rainbow Six Siege. Did you say that?
No, but I mean, I figured people would understand that.
I mean, you gotta tell people what you're talking about here.
Maybe.
Yeah, so we're talking about the Rainbow Six Siege closed beta, which was open the past few days, that I did play. And kind of my initial impressions is it reminded me a lot of the older Rainbow Sixes. Like Rainbow Six 3 Black Arrow is kind of the main one that comes to mind. Just the more slower pace, the more tactical type stuff you're doing with the breaching charges and stuff. But, and I don't know if this was just the beta. It didn't seem like it was really smooth. It was, I don't know how you describe it. Didn't seem as sharp.
Can you be a little more specific on what that means? Because I don't really know.
Well, I don't know. It didn't seem like it was a full 60 frames per second. And then it also the resolution didn't seem very high, but I don't know what exactly it was. But I'm hoping it's like a Battlefield situation. Usually those betas, the graphics aren't as great, but then when the actual game comes out, it's a lot better. But I really liked it. The terrorists are really smart. Like, there's different kind of guys. There's one guy that's like a suicide bomber. There's one guys that like to throw grenades a lot. Some guys, I don't know. There's different ones. And if you have the little camera car thing and you spot them, it'll show what they are above them in red. There's the ones are called bombers or the suicide guys. Then ambushers, and then like engineers, I think. And so they each have kind of different tactics, and most of the environment's destructible, so you can shoot through walls and all that good stuff. And they'll actually shoot through the walls at you. And if you kind of back up, sometimes they'll actually chase you. They don't just kind of sit around. So I like that. It was kind of
like if you retreat, they'll pursue you.
Yeah, sometimes, not all the time, but they kind of throw. I guess it's more unpredictable would be the best way to describe it. Like you're not really sure.
It's not like linear, like old terrorist hunt was kind of, you knew exactly where they were going to go.
Yeah.
Based on, it was just like a set routine.
Yeah, you walk into a room,
deal.
shoot the guys, like, you know where they're at. They don't really move out of the spaces.
Right.
But yeah, this one, you got to be careful because they actually use tactics against you. And, and just the environments, like, we were playing with, or I was playing with one of our friends, Eddie.
While I was listening to them
Fireproof.
have fun.
Yeah. We're having a great time and you're just like sulking over in the corner.
I was actually.
But he said, he kind of mentioned something about the maps, and I agreed with him, is most games, or even the old Rainbow Six games, the maps were like, it was all enclosed. I mean, some of them you could get up on the roof and like rappel down certain paths, but there was pretty much like central paths that everybody would go to. But on here, you can rappel. There's no set rappel points. You can rappel on any ledge, and then you can actually move back and forth. So like if you rappel up on one wall, you can move back and forth along the wall. You can't go around a corner of the wall, but you can sit there, go up, down, left, right, all over the wall that you want.
And that's any wall?
Pretty much, yeah, any outside wall.
Oh, okay.
You can rappel down, like on Rainbow Six Vegas, when you rappelled on a wall, you could walk up and down it, like with your pistol out, but you can only go up and down. And I don't remember, could you turn upside down?
Yes.
Yeah,
I want to say you could.
Yeah, you could. I remember now. You can do the same thing on this, but you can use a primary weapon. You don't have to have the pistol out or the secondary weapon because the rope like attaches to your belt or something. I don't know how it works, but you still have your primary weapon out. And it's all first person. There's no third person in this one anymore.
And you could also melee it looked like, from the rappel.
Yeah. But you can also rappel into just open space. Like if there's this one building, this one map, there's a skylight on the roof. You can rappel into an open space, but on Vegas, if you rappelled in an open space, you just drop straight down to the floor and then got off.
Yeah, it's kind of like a fast rope.
Yeah, but this one, you actually control how far you're going down, so you can just like hang there in midair if you wanted to. So it's kind of cool. You can do the same thing, flip upside down. It's kind of disorienting sometimes. But so for example, one thing that I would do a lot is I'd rappel on a wall and then plant a breaching charge on a window and then blow the breaching charge, and then you can kind of lean in and shoot the guys that are in there.
Right.
And there's some maps where like a friend can get up on a roof of another smaller building, or there's another map that has like this like scaffolding lift that a guy can get in, and he has line of sight into the windows. So you can blow the window open, and then that guy back there can start shooting guys inside. But it's just really, really cool, the different ways that you can get into the buildings. I mean, through windows to the roof, just walking through the doors. You can clear them from the top down, bottom up, just kind of whatever you want to do. And then a few of the walls you can blow through and go through different areas. I didn't play enough to unlock any of the characters. It's like 500 in-game credit things to unlock one. So
how do you get those?
Just from playing through the game modes. Like if you do well, you get more. If you don't do as well, you don't get as many. But those are the actual characters like we see in all the trailers and stuff. And they each have like their own thing. Like there's one guy who's like a communications guy. He jams enemy electronic stuff. There's one guy who has a sledgehammer who can like smash through stuff, through walls and stuff. And but there's different ones in the different organizations, I guess you could say. They have like Spetsnaz, FBI, SAS. I can't remember what other countries' special forces they have. But each
never mind, go on.
But each country has their own characters within that. They use different weapons and stuff. But I didn't get enough money to actually buy any of the additional guys. You just start out with like a recruit guy that you can pick any faction you want and any weapon. But he's not really specialized. You have to actually unlock the other characters to get the more specialized gear and stuff like that. But it was a lot of fun still. Like it was actually challenging. I played some on the normal difficulty. I played some on the realistic, and it's tough. Even on the normal, it's pretty tough. You got to really be careful with what you're doing. And they're like I said earlier, they're not stupid. Like I was using the remote car a lot, and they'll actually see the remote car if you're just out in the middle of the open space, and they'll shoot it and blow it up. But what's cool too, though, is a remote car, you can actually pick it up. So if you use it, you can drive around, spot everybody, and then drive back to where your guy's sitting there controlling it and exit out of it, and you can pick it up. So you can use it again later if you want.
So it's not like wasted, per se?
Yeah, it's not wasted if you use it. It's not like a one-time use. But obviously, if the enemy guys shoot it, then
it's gonna
you're
die.
out. Or if you don't pick it up again.
So how do you go... So let's say someone blew it up. Like, how would you go about getting more? Is there like a resupply? Or...
Yeah, there's... In some of the rooms in the buildings, there's a ammo or like a supply refill box that you can go to and refill grenades and cameras or whatever. But you got to be careful, though, because... like I said, the enemy guys are smart, and if you've been fighting them and you're just you're not doing anything, sometimes they'll come looking for you. Because one time, me and Eddie were playing, and we were sitting there trying to refill the ammo, and guys just kept coming into the room. They just kept running up in there, and there was me, Eddie, and one other guy in the room, and these dudes just kept running in, and there was like 2 bomber guys that ran in, and the first one blew the one guy up. And the other one totally destroyed, like, most of the wall around the room. So we were kind of sitting in the open, still trying to get ammo, and then other guys just kind of ran in and shot us all. And it takes a while to actually pick the ammo up. It's not like super fast. It takes a couple of seconds. And you can't move your view. Like, I know some other games, you can sit there and hold the ammo gather thing
and then,
with one button, and look around.
Watch your back.
Yeah, and look around with the other thumb. You can't do it on this one. Like, if you're getting the ammo, you can't move, you can't look. You just have to sit there and look at the ammo box.
So someone has to, like, watch your back pretty much to do that.
So it's a little risky.
Yeah, it is a little risky business.
But, yeah, I mean, I don't really know what else to say about the terrorist hunt. That's kind of all that I experienced. I mean, there's a lot of different guns. Some of the guns I used were obviously better than other ones, but most of them felt really good. They didn't feel like they were they felt realistic, I guess I could say. They didn't feel like they were like Call of Duty style, where it's just every single one you pick up is like crazy accurate. I mean, you really have to take your time. And I switched a lot of my rifles to like their burst shot instead of the full auto. Because of the accuracy really gets out of hand if you're sitting there shooting it full auto. So yeah, the more, and even the semi-automatic guns I would use more so than the regular assault rifles.
Let me ask you this.
What?
After playing for the short time you did, do you feel that maybe this game could become repetitive, or do you think that it would be able to have that replayability over and over again to do the terrorist hunt and have a different outcome every time, since it's not necessarily linear, I suppose?
I mean, it's not really linear, I guess you could say. I mean, at some point you could probably get to where you feel like you're doing the same stuff over and over, but I don't know. I think it offers enough of a challenge, especially if you're doing realistic, and it rewards you enough to where like you feel like you're doing something. And like I said, you don't have to. It's not like the other games where you clear one level, move down like certain pathways, clear the next level. You can enter into the building like any way you want. You can go in any direction. The terrorist guys, like I said, they'll move around. They're smart. So I don't think it would be as repetitive as you might assume.
Right.
And then you also have the actual multiplayer, which I don't know how that would be. You can comment on that, but there's no single player to it. So normally if a game has really good multiplayer, I don't really care if it has single player, like Titanfall. Everybody was mad about Titanfall not having single player. I don't really care. Same thing with Battlefront. Like, oh, Battlefront doesn't have a single player. Like, it doesn't really matter if the multiplayer is good. It doesn't really matter if there is a single player.
Right.
So, but still, multiplayer only games, if they're not done right, can get repetitive. Like, Evolve, I think, is that way. And I think this game is going to be a lot like Evolve as far as how they structure it. Like, I think down the road, you'd probably have to buy new characters, new maps, stuff like that to continue the experience, I think is kind of what I'm feeling from what they're doing.
Do you think because you'll max out a character and then you won't be able to really unlock more stuff for him, or?
I don't know about that. Like I said, I didn't buy a character, so I don't know if there's stuff locked for the characters. Hold on. I think I remember there's different levels to the character, where I don't know if he ranks up whatever and gets more stuff. Cause I remember seeing each additional level was a 500 coin thing or whatever the currency is.
Right.
And so each character has 4 different levels you go through to get more stuff, I guess. But there are a lot of characters. It's not just a handful. Some of the trailers, I was a little surprised because some of the trailers kind of made it look like there was only 5 or 6 different guys, because that's all they were introducing. But no, there's a ton, and some of them, well, all of them, they have a specialty, I guess, to where some of them are attacker characters, some of them are defender characters. So even if you buy a character in the SAS, he would only be either attacker or defender. So if you bought an attacker and you had to play as a defender team, you'd have to use the regular recruit guy. So you constantly have to be buying the characters, and it takes a while to get enough coin things, renown, I think it's called, to buy the actual character.
Right.
So I think at least that, it would take you a while to buy all the characters. So that's always something new to kind of work for. And each one, like I said, would kind of open up a new way to play with, depending on what their specialty thing is. So what about the multiplayer? And what did you think about that?
From what I watched, I don't know how it was in the co-op and the, that type deal, but it seemed to me that the hit detection on the weapons were very well done.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're really... You have to be really accurate with the weapons. But like I said, they feel realistic, so you can't just kind of spray in a guy's general direction and expect to do anything to him.
Right, they were... the one I was watching he used a few different equipment items, but for weapon's sake, it looked like at first he was running around with it looked like a shotgun, some type of shotgun. And that looked like a blast to use.
I didn't use the shotguns much. I'm not really a shotgun fan.
It was a kind of a clearing the room type weapon. Because he would walk in the room, and before they would have a chance to react, I mean, if they're watching the door, they're real close to it,
Yeah.
I mean, they're dead unless he misses. But like you said, it's kind of... I saw him miss a few shots because of how accurate you really have to be, even with a shotgun. And with the FAMAS, I saw him use a FAMAS as well, and there was a couple guys in the doorway, and he wasn't really shooting at them per se. He was just kind of spraying, and when he sprayed, he didn't really kill anything.
Yeah, you have to. That's one thing too. Is the damage varies depending on where you hit him. So if you just hit him like in the arm or in the leg, that's not really going to do much to him. But you have to get like the headshots or more torso shots to really do anything. And it works the other way too with the player characters. Like
Right.
if somebody takes a few torso shots or a headshot, they're dead. But if they get hit in the arms or the legs, they could just go down and like kind of a bleed out
Be
mode.
revived or
Yeah, and then you can go up to him. If you can get to him, you can revive him. And what's cool about that too is while you're in the bleed out mode, you can kind of crawl around, kind of get in a better position. But you can also hold a button down and he like presses the wound, kind of slows the bleeding down, and it extends the timer out.
so can you not move while you do
No,
that?
you
have
can't
to
move
sit
while
still?
you're holding the wound. So
Yeah.
it's like, do you crawl toward your friends, or do you sit there and hold the wound and hope they can get to you in time? That's an interesting little mechanic that I liked.
Yeah, that is. That's pretty
But yeah, it's definitely
intense.
it definitely matters where you hit people on the game. So you have to be really intentional with your shots. You can't just kind of spray around, and if you land a couple of hits, you'll kill them. You got to really be careful to where you're shooting.
And I also liked, well, with that being said about the weapons and the, like, well, on the same part of that, I was talking about the door, two guys got behind kind of like a, not construction, but like it's a wall being built up type deal, you know? And he knew that they had gone in and turned right to crouch down behind the wall or whatever.
Yeah.
So he started like laying into that wall and breaking it down, and he killed one guy, which I thought that was super awesome. And it seemed like, I don't know, I mean, in Battlefield, like, and for the sake of being destructible environments, you know,
Yeah.
Battlefield was destructible, I'm sorry, but it seemed like in the sense of shooting people through walls, it never really happened. It was more of like
No.
a blow the scenery type up deal.
Yeah.
Which is cool and everything, but I mean, if you're just gonna like there's no like head glitching where you just stick your gun above like a little wall,
Right.
and then, light somebody up because they can shoot through that wall that you're in behind and kill you type deal. So I don't know. I thought that was really, really interesting. I'm really bummed that I didn't get to play it because I was super super looking forward to it.
Yeah, the destructibility is really neat. It's not, like you said, it's not just about, just having the environment being able to get destroyed and kind of adding that to the feel of the game. Like, it's really intentional. So like me, there's a few times if I knew somebody was hiding right behind a wall and I just, like, if I walked into the room, they would shoot me and I would die. So I'd stick a breaching charge on the wall kind of about where I thought they were and blow it up, and then I'd be able to throw a grenade or shoot through that wall. And then sometimes too, I would, like, if I wanted to clear a room and I didn't want to go just walk through the door, if there was a destructible wall, I'd just shoot a bunch of rounds into the wall, like into a plywood or something, and then
Right.
kind of peek through the hole and see if there's anybody in there. But still, like always, it works the other way too. Like they can do the same thing to you. And I don't know, it'd be interesting to see how it works with human players on each side. Because like I said, the terrorist guys are really smart. Like they'll do it. They don't have breaching charges and stuff like that, but they'll still shoot through walls if they kind of know that you're on the other side. But yeah, the playing against an actual player, that would add a whole new dynamic to it, I think.
I mean, besides that, I just saw the fact of the blowing the walls up. I did see footage of them rappelling, and that was really awesome how that worked. It seemed like it was very smooth. And also being able to rappel and then place a charge on a wall. That's really awesome. Just, I don't know. I mean, I know that you said that you probably weren't going to buy it. But
Yeah, well, I'm really undecided.
Because
I'm trying
if
not
you-
to spend a whole lot of money
Yeah.
on stuff, and then with this being the way it was with the like the multiplayer only, I didn't know if it was really gonna
be worth the money.
yeah, I don't know if it was gonna be like have the longevity. But I would definitely pick it up if it dropped in price, which I mean hold on. No, it got delayed. It's not
December
coming out until
1st is when it
December
comes
now.
out.
Yeah. I was gonna say I'd look for like a Black Friday deal, but in that case it'd be a no-go.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm not sure. I mean, we'll have Halo and Battlefront coming out then, and then even getting into early next year, there's a lot of stuff coming out then.
Yeah.
So
A lot of stuff coming out next year. Uncharted, all that crap.
yeah, so it looks really fun. I would definitely like to have it, but I think it could probably wait a couple months till stuff kind of dies down. But because I kind of want to focus on just a few games. Because when Halo 4 came out, I played it like nonstop, and then Call of Duty came out, and I played it. And then after I got tired of Call of Duty, after a month and a half, I just kind of like, I hadn't played Halo in so long, I just didn't play it. So I really want to focus on Halo 5 this time around, because going back and playing Halo 4 on the Master Chief Collection is really good. I mean, it's my favorite one to play on the collection now.
Yep.
So I really want to put some time into Halo 5, because I really, really loved the beta earlier this year, and I think it's going to be super good. And then Battlefront, of course, is just going to be amazing.
Yeah. No question about Battlefront.
But I think their release date, I think, is going to hurt Rainbow Six. Because
It is.
Because where it was, I can't remember, was it in October before?
It was like October, like
It was early October, yeah.
or something like that. I don't
It was
remember.
before Halo.
Yeah, it was before Halo, which already alone is a bad idea because
Well, I mean, you could still, like, people could get that. Like, people are more inclined, say, if you got Rainbow Six and Halo coming out the same month.
right.
If you're really looking forward to Halo, but Rainbow Six comes out first, you're like, oh, I get this and kind of amuse myself in the meantime, and then I'll have it if I ever want to play it. But with not only Halo, but all the other stuff, I mean, AAA stuff coming out this fall, December is like the last thing, like the last window, and usually by December, everything is already out, like all the good stuff's already out. So by taking it out of that early slot and pushing it back, I think that's not going to be good for them.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, going pretty early into the beginning of next year, we're going to have a lot more stuff coming out. So it's like, I don't know, just really bad release timing. But if the game, was broken and needs polishing, it's better to push it back and fix it for the people that do buy it than just throw it out there and it be a
Sell a
piece
broken
of trash.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can't blame them for doing that, but at the same time, it's like not the best idea pushing it back as far as, I guess, like sales opportunity goes.
Well, then, you have it here, folks. Don't buy it.
I'm not saying that, like, if you're a Rainbow Six, like, super huge Rainbow Six fan and you're not really getting any of the other stuff, go buy it. But, which I'm a big Rainbow Six fan, but I'm a bigger Halo fan, so, and a bigger Battlefront fan.
Well, if you're done talking about Rainbow Six, then I'll talk about what I actually did get to play this week, which is The Taken King. And unfortunately, I've neglected Metal Gear, and
Me
hopefully
too.
this first like craziness of this Destiny hype that I've been on will soon subside. I'll still love Destiny, but I think I'm going to start putting my time back towards Metal Gear during the week just because I want to finish that game. I'm really into that game, so.
Yeah, save Destiny for the weekend so we can play together and you don't get tired of it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I need to play Metal Gear 2, so I'll probably work on that this week.
But this week in Destiny, I got some things in my inventory now, so I unlocked the sword, which the sword is really awesome. And I also now have acquired all legendary items as well as 2 exotics, 1 weapon, 1 armor piece. So that's pretty exciting. Now I'm just kind of on the grind to get better weapons. And thankfully it's not the 1,000-hour grind that Destiny used to be.
Yeah.
So
No, there's a lot more ways now, and I really like how they've done it. There's a lot more ways to get rewarded.
yep.
I like
And
I didn't know that they were doing the thing with the 3 of coins, which is an item that you buy from Xur, who sells the exotic stuff. You buy these coin things and you use them, and it increases your chance of an exotic engram drop in when you kill, what is it? When you kill an ultra.
Yeah.
So what you can do, and it resets though when you go to orbit, but what you do is, like, if you're going into a strike, you would use one of the coins. And what does it give you? 5 of them? Like, it gives you a stack of 5 when you buy it?
Yes, it gives you 5 3 of coins, yep.
So you use one, only one. Don't use more than one, because it doesn't help you out any. But you use one, and you go through the strike, and on the strikes, the last guy is always an ultra. The boss is always an ultra. So when you kill the boss, you have a chance to drop an exotic engram. And I've heard, people say that the more stuff you kill before you get to an ultra, like the higher the chances or something like that. I don't really know how that works.
Yeah, I don't know how it works either,
But if you don't get a drop on that guy, just don't go back to orbit, but stay in the strike playlist and use another one. After you kill that ultra, you use another 3 of coins and then go through that one. And each one you use after you kill an ultra, it stacks it higher. So eventually, within the 5 stacks, you will get an exotic engram. And I was super lucky. I think you kind of got lucky too.
I got 2.
Mine was a primary engram.
Yeah, mine was primary as well. So.
And mine was the new updated Suros auto rifle, which the old Suros was one of the best ones to drop because it was just so good online. Everybody used it. But the new one dropped. I didn't even know there was an updated version, and I got that drop, so I was pretty happy that it was that and not, a crappy one, because the exotics are good, but there's a lot of them that I don't like that are kind of crappy. So I was happy I got that one.
Yeah, and I got which I told Christian this before, and I'm not really a big hand cannon guy, but in the campaign, there are moments where a hand cannon will be more useful than my scout or assault rifle, auto rifle that I use. So it was pretty nice.
Yeah, the hand cannons are good for PvE.
Yeah, 295 attack. So just kind of.
And the one you got, what'd you get, Last Word?
I got the Last Word, and then I also got the Invective shotgun last night.
I didn't like the Invective at all, at least the older version.
So that's what I've been using in PvP today when I've been using my auto rifle as my primary, and then
it was good on PvP. Yeah, there's certain weapons that work better on PvP than they do on PvE and vice versa.
Yeah, so, and I was pretty much using that, and I was doing pretty well with it, and I like it a lot. And this week from Xur, I got the sealed Ahamkara grass. So it's just they're gauntlets for the hunter, and they look like bones or scales or something. Yeah. They're pretty sweet looking. So
we should try to go through at least the first raid, the Vault of Glass, this weekend, just so you can experience it. You're not going to get anything that's really useful out of it, but it's fun to still do it, and it'd be really easy to do since we're way higher level than it now.
Well, I got an achievement.
For what?
I got an achievement for completing a raid.
You unlocked it, or you have an achievement to do it?
No, I unlocked it. Doing
what?
I don't know. I just got back on Destiny last night and it unlocked, so I have no idea.
Weird.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah,
I was-
I want to do the Crota's End raid too because I never played all the way through it.
Well, I
And
want to do.
it'd be pretty
I want to
easy.
do that and the King's Fall raid because it's an achievement and I want it. So
The King's Fall raid is we're gonna have to have more stuff before we go in there.
yeah, I know.
But the Prison of Elders, that was like the raid level thing on the House of Wolves because House of Wolves didn't have a raid, and we did that, just me and you, which was annoying, but we actually did it.
Yeah, that was. Whew, yeah, I mean, I was getting pretty mad about that. So
I mean, that's like that amount of frustration. That is the normal thing that happens on the raid. Like that amount of crazy stuff going on. That's normal raid stuff. But with 6 people, it is a lot easier to
a
deal
lot. Yeah, I can imagine. So, but yeah, I mean, besides that, I haven't really touched anything else. I would like to make the announcement. For Xbox users, I'm not sure about PS4. I haven't been on this week, like I said. But this week, to make note of a good free game that they have out right now for the month. I'm not sure if we talked about it last week, did we?
No, I don't think we did.
Okay. Tomb Raider, the definitive edition, has been put out for free.
Did you play all the way through it?
I beat it, yeah. That was one of the first games I played once I got to Hawaii, so.
Yeah, I had not the definitive edition, but the regular game when it came out on PC. I got it like crazy cheap, like $13 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I played through most of it, but I never finished it. So I would, if I ever have time, I don't have a lot of time anymore, but if I ever have time, I'd like to go through it on the console and beat it because console, I don't know. As I said before, I enjoy just sitting on my couch playing console games more than sitting on my computer.
Yeah. So that was pretty nice. I mean, unfortunately, I had already spent the cash on it a while ago, like a year ago. But
I mean, it's a really good game. You know, I've never been
especially
a Tomb
for
Raider
free.
fan. Yeah, I've never been a Tomb Raider fan. So when I got it, I was really surprised how good it was and how much I enjoyed it. I don't know how you'd really, like, what genre you'd classify it as.
Like Uncharted.
It's
that's what
like
I would
kind of
classify it
like
as.
an action adventure type thing, but there's a lot of, leveling up different skills. And I remember you had to like hunt animals and get their skins or whatever, and you would unlock more stuff. So it's kind of there's like almost like a meta game to it, as well as the straight up, action narrative driven side. So it's
And
really
if I
good.
didn't, what? If I didn't like what's his face, Nolan North so much, I mean that's what Uncharted is a phenomenal game, but Nathan Drake as the protagonist is what makes the game for me.
Oh yeah.
So if it wasn't him as the primary and it was someone else, then I would probably honestly like Tomb Raider, the new one, like the game more. But just as a whole, Uncharted takes the cake on that kind of game, in my opinion. But
Well, I think it's really good that they have a female character now. As like I mean, you've always had Tomb Raider before, but the old ones
we
were
haven't really had a good like female protagonist.
on the Xbox.
in a while,
Well,
since,
really on any of them.
Yeah, I mean, well, since Metroid, but
Well, no, who cares about Metroid?
a lot of people care about Metroid. But
I was never a Nintendo fan, so I never played any Metroid
Yeah, I know.
games.
But yeah, I mean, besides that, I can't really think of any good plot-driven story games with a female the protagonist. I'm sure I'm forgetting something, but so.
Yeah.
And also, one more thing I would like to talk about. I did buy my Gamers Club Unlocked this past week, so I will be slowly drifting away from the Power Up reward system from GameStop. But I got an interesting email this week from GameStop.
Oh, really? Tell us about it.
Would you like to know about it?
Yes.
All right. So I got this email and it says paid to play Game Mercenaries. I was like, what? What's that? It's like, it sounds interesting, right? So
Yeah.
So I click on it, and it says, so this is its headers. Help when you need it. Browse our list of free or paid contracts to find the mercenary that is right for you. Ratings, profiles, and video highlights help you quickly find the perfect player. Got game? Get paid to raid or sell you skills. We provide you all the tools to build a rep and earn some money if you are 18 years or older.
What?
Yeah, so pretty much is what's going to happen is this week I'm going to totally look into this and I'll have more information on it this following week. But
I don't really understand what that's saying.
I don't really know either because I was going to sign up for it earlier, but then when I click on get started, it just tells me to sign up, so I don't actually get any more information on it. But I'll let you know, just in conversation, I'll probably tell you tomorrow what it says. But I'm really interested in this to see what it has to say. And honestly, if it's like a real legitimate system of earning prizes or money or what have you, then I'm probably going to start looking into this and how it works and maybe do it. So, but we shall see. So I'm pretty excited about that. But
yeah, it sounds interesting.
But besides that, I'm not really sure anything else that's going on. It's been a pretty boring week, I guess.
Yeah, been a pretty slow week. We talk about real life stuff. Have you heard anything yet about your promotion test or whatever it was?
No, not yet, but if it's this long... Oh, wait, yes I have. Okay, so... There's 10 people selected, right, out of the whole base. 8 people get a stripe and 2 people are alternates, and I was the first alternate.
What does that mean, alternate?
That means, if you were selected to get a stripe and you do something stupid, like fail your PT test, then you would lose that stripe and then I would get it.
Oh.
So.
Well, based on what you say, there's a lot of people doing stupid stuff there.
Yep. So, it was sad the first day and some people kept making comments and I had to, set them straight, let them know that I was going to hurt them if they wouldn't stop because, no one wants to hear that. So, but besides that, I'm kind of over it. I'm not going to do my job any differently. I'll still get the stripe. It just is going to take a little bit longer, but.
Yeah.
But regardless, I'm just kind of waiting and finally can focus on getting my school stuff straightened out instead of worried about all that crap. So
when are you going to start school?
November, hopefully, with, I'm not sure, I forget if I said my degree on here, but I sent my final degree request in, so it's going to be a bachelor's of business administration specializing in cybersecurity. And thankfully, there's a university class that I have to take with this college as it's a mandatory type deal. And then I'm also going to take an computer applications class, which I thought that would be an easy class to take since I'm a computer, nerd guy, and it'd be easy for me to transition into school with that kind of class.
Yeah.
So, hopefully and now I'm just waiting on my final my transcripts from ACT and high school and stuff like that, the official ones and that kind of stuff.
Right.
So hopefully November is when I'll start, but
it's kind of a weird starting time.
Yeah, they have weird semesters. This college I'm going to, so. Is
it an outside college? It's not a military thing?
It's an outside college with military entry. It's Wayland Baptist. It's a pretty big college in Texas.
Texas?
So,
are you doing online stuff?
No, that's where it's based out of, and they have military campuses.
Okay.
So, yeah, they have a campus here in Mililani, like an actual off-base campus. So,
well, you're gonna have to do that.
It's one class a week. I'll definitely have time. So, but the other cool thing is, since it's a Baptist college, I can. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I can add because there's like religion classes that are mandatory, just part of their syllabus or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what it's called. And since that's how it works, all I needed to do was add one more religion class, and I can also I'll be able to minor in religion. So
okay.
Minoring in theology. So
cool.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited about that, but we'll see how that all works out.
Maybe we can talk theology.
And I'll own you. Like I do, just like I do now.
When do you own me ever?
Every day.
No.
Wait, when are you gonna start? When are you starting school?
Next year. It won't be till next fall semester. In the meantime, got to do get a lot of stuff done. Got to move. We got to cut a lot of bills out. I'm probably gonna go down to part-time at work so I can do school full-time. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff to get straightened out. Little scary transitioning back to school after working for so long, but I'm really getting tired of the retail life. So I'm trying to do something different.
You can't retail for life.
That's right.
Well, and besides that,
well, I kind of I realized that if I want to advance anymore in the company, I'd have to give up a lot more of my time, and I'd go back to a crazy schedule, which I hated before. So it's just not worth the extra money, I guess, because I could have that extra money and be able to start a family, but at the same time, if I'm working 60 hours a week, all kinds of crazy hours, it's like, when am I gonna actually have time to do anything? You know what I mean?
Oh, I know.
So, yeah. So my position now, it's kind of like I'm kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place with that, because I don't want to advance to the next level, but I also don't want to go back to the sales floor, because I'd go back to the crazy schedule. Where I'm at right now, I have a Monday through Friday position, so it's easy. And I've been, I've been studying a lot of, we talked about theology. Been studying a lot of Reformed theology, and been reading a lot of the Westminster Confession of Faith, which I think, not saying that I would hold that on like the same level as the Bible or whatever, but everything that I read in there, I totally agree with, and the stuff that I don't really agree with, I study more into, and they give you like scripture references for what they come up, like the statements they come up with. So I've been reading those and kind of studying further into, the historical Christian beliefs on the different subjects. And I've been thinking a lot about the Sabbath recently, which a lot of people, when you say Sabbath, they're like, oh, it's a Jewish thing.
Sabbath the band?
No, not Black Sabbath. So a lot of people think of it as like a Jewish thing, but the more stuff I study, it seems pretty clear that the essentially what the Sabbath was transferred over to Sunday after the New Testament came in, but a lot of the same things, like activities or beliefs would apply to it. And one of the things is you should not be working like a job on the Sabbath unless it's what they would call a work of necessity or mercy. So like my wife works at a hospital, and that would, I think, qualify as a work of necessity or work of mercy. But for me, working at a retail store, that's not necessary or merciful in any way. So
that's definitely necessary.
No, maybe to materialists, but not to normal people. so if I go back to the other schedule, like not the receiving area schedule, I would go back to where I would have 2 Sundays off a month, and I'd be working the other 2. And I really don't want to do that based on what I'm convicted of. And we had a store meeting where everybody in the store was supposed to show up. And normally, I've always been to them before. They do them on Sunday mornings before the store opens, because that's like the only time they can do it to get everybody together. And normally I'm there because I want to do good at my job, and I actually care about what I'm doing, so I usually show up to the meetings. But this time, after reading all that stuff, I didn't show up, and I was kind of questioning on why I wasn't there, because I'm a manager, and they kind of want managers to be there. So I told them why, and then it turns out I had to fill out a religious accommodation paper, where I had to, explain why I didn't want to be scheduled on Sunday, and I gave them, the Westminster Confession quotes and the Bible verses and all that stuff, and they accepted the accommodation. Like, they have to send it off to corporate, and they have to review it and all that stuff. They approved it, so I'm not going to be scheduled on Sundays, which I'm not normally. Like I said, I'm Monday through Friday, but those store meetings are scheduled Sundays. But I would not be scheduled on those under that. But if I went out to the sales floor again, I think that would expire, because they're particular with what they say. They say they approve it with like reasonable accommodation. So right now it's a pretty reasonable accommodation to not schedule me on Sundays, since I don't normally work on Sundays anyways. But if I went back to the other schedule, it would be a little bit more inconvenient for, the other people working in the department, especially in a smaller department, where if you only got 3 people on the schedule, that means that it would mess up other people's days off, and wouldn't be really fair, kind of, I guess. So it would probably expire if that was the case, and they would probably deny that accommodation. So,
and then they would fire you?
Well, no, they wouldn't fire me unless I just refused to work. But I mean, that's another reason why I'm trying to get some education, so I can actually have a normal job where people only work Monday through Friday anyways. But yeah, it's a lot of stuff, a lot of hard stuff to think about with the work situation. But in my position, I could just hang out in the position I have, because it's good, it's decent schedule. But it's like a ridiculous amount of stuff that I have to do. I have basically I have to oversee people in the entire store, because I have, most department managers, they only have one department under them, but I have like 5 or 6. With all the receiving, stocking stuff. There's part of the lumber department is mine. I don't know why, but it just is. Part of the appliance department is mine. And it's so hard trying to keep up with everything. I'm constantly getting pulled into the office to have them talk about how I need to manage people better. I'm like, well, I don't have enough people to manage here doing this. And so most of the time I'm just ridiculously tired after work, don't feel like doing anything. And it really high stress levels. This past week hadn't been too bad. But a couple weeks before that were ridiculous. So it's kind of I'm just really stuck with what I'm doing. So trying to ride it out until sometime probably midsummer of next year. Then I'll drop down to part-time and get ready for school. And then it'll be a long road after that, going back through school and then trying to find another job. So, but glad I got my wife here to help me out. She's awesome, by the way, too, because we've been trying to save up money and pay stuff off and kind of lower our bills. And she works full time at the hospital. She works 3 12-hour days a week. And then she also went and got another part-time job to get more money because I was trying to look for a part-time job, but having to be at work at 4 a.m, I'm way too tired in the afternoons, and I have to go to bed too early in order to have a consistent other job. Because if I did, it would really affect negatively the main job I had. So I was kind of stuck on that. So she went and did that without me suggesting it or anything like that. So that's really cool of her.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That cray cray.
Well, you just said a lot of things, dude.
Yeah. Talked a long time. I know I keep talking about the blog or the other podcast that I'm wanting to do. I don't know if I'm going to actually do one where I talk myself, but I'm still going to be writing.
No one wants to listen to you talk.
I'm sure most people would rather listen to me than you.
Oh, whatever.
Anyways, but I still have my blog, so if you're interested in stuff that I'm learning, you can go on there and read it. It's theologicthoughts.com. And if people didn't know, I'm gonna come out right now.
Oh no.
I told you, Taylor, but I hadn't really told many other people. I think I told my dad, but I've recently, through studying, I've been convinced of the Presbyterian denomination's view on most things, which would include infant baptism as part of a covenant baptism. So you go into a Baptist school, that'd be some interesting discussions, I think. Yeah,
hopefully I don't have any online theology classes.
Why is that?
Because I would rather have a discussion in all those kind of classes. I mean,
well, yeah, that's true.
I'm just saying, like you just said, there should be some interesting discussion. I'm just saying, I hope that there's none online.
Well, yeah, I'm talking about like between me and you. But anyways, I mean that topic will probably be down the road. That's one of those things where it's like I've looked enough into it where I'm convinced that it's true, but I can't like sit up and argue against somebody about it. But there's a lot of other stuff that I want to go on there. If anybody's interested, I've talked a little bit about the Reformed theology, which that's what I am as a Reformed Christian, which has a little bit different views on a lot of stuff. It's more historical views than what most people are today in America. But I'm going to be going through, I've had a couple people ask me, I know Allison Taylor asked me, what exactly that means. Like, what does being Reformed mean?
Right.
So I'm going to go through all that pretty soon. Right now I'm going through a series on alcohol. Because that's kind of the foundation of what got me, interestingly, that's kind of the foundation of what got me into studying Reform stuff. Is with Reform stuff, it's all about
getting turned.
No. Can you leave the bathroom while we're doing the podcast?
Sorry, man.
Wow.
Sometimes you just gotta go to the bathroom, man.
I guess. Anyways, Reform stuff's all about, what's historical, what's biblical. And it was the same thing when I was looking into the alcohol stuff. A lot of people say, and I was always raised, drinking's a sin, it's always a sin. But interestingly enough, on the hardcore Christian gamer forums, years and years and years ago,
Christian severely bashed people about.
I would go off.
You damned them to hell.
No, I didn't go that far. But that's what I thought, though. Honestly, that is what I thought in my head.
But Christian wouldn't read his Bible, so.
Well, what's funny is, they have all this biblical backup. So I went to my Bible and started studying it in order to prove them wrong. And interestingly enough, they were right. So that kind of, I guess, put the practice into my head of doing that is to actually check what I thought against the Bible instead of, my pastor said it's a sin, so it's a sin type deal. But I'm going through that right now because I know my parents aren't really pleased with my views on that. And I'm sure there are other people who would feel the same way as well. So it's probably going to be like a 3-part series I'm doing on that. I put the first one up a couple days ago. But after that, I'm just going to go into a lot of the Reformed stuff. So if anybody's interested, that's theologicthoughts.com. You can go to read all that biz. Then also I do actually have another podcast, but it's just not me by myself. I don't know if I mentioned this on the podcast. I think I did. It has a really lame name. It's called the Christian Mancast, but I had no control over that
you did.
whatsoever.
You did talk about this.
I did not know.
No, shut up. I was like, you did talk about it because
Okay.
I made fun of that last week.
Yeah, well, I thought you were going to make fun of it again, so that's why I was getting all defensive. But we had a good episode last week. We talked about abortion.
Possible name changes.
I wish. No, we talked about somehow got into reform stuff. I don't know how that happened, but that we talked about that the first half, and then we talked about abortion the second half. But that's a good show. I think it's going really good. It's all about men that are issues that Christian men face in day-to-day life. So if you're interested, that's kind of I'm plugging myself on my own podcast, so go do it.
Sell out.
Do you have any self plugs to make for you?
I'm awesome.
All right.
That's it. That's my only self plug. Oh no, wait, I do.
No, we're all right, guys.
Nope.
We'll see you next week.
Nope. Hopefully with this week I'll be working on this more after church tonight. I'm gonna come back and work on the footage I recorded, but I really want to get into just making YouTube videos and learning how to properly do them, just because I like to make videos and I like to see people, or I like people to watch the cool things that me or my friends do. So
I think you do good at it.
You think so?
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, we'll see. I definitely have I can definitely do the talking the whole time because I can be pretty verbal during video games.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, besides that, I think
What's your YouTube channel?
Well,
Or are you going to make a new one for this?
I'm going to make a new one, but it's going to be called, it's just going to be called Tailor Made Gaming.
That's lame.
I know, right?
Should we call it like Ultra Elite Trick Shot Montage Daily?
Sponsored by Mom.
Sponsored by Monster.
No. Every single intro could be like a no scope, like kill cam. Like, he hit! Oh my gosh! Like that every single time.
Wow. Yeah, people no scoping you, maybe.
This podcast is over. Cue the intro, outro music. Dun, 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 dun. Cue that.
Okay, it's cued. What do you want to do now?
Well, I do actually have to use the bathroom, but I have no toilet paper, so.
Wow. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Well, I'm editing this part out because this is really bad.
No, this isn't bad at all.
We're just sitting here.
No, I was gonna talk about Destiny a little bit.
Then talk about it. I'll cut it back in.
All right.